Hello and welcome to Morning Update live on NTN. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. Today is Monday, the 10th of May 2021. We hope you guys are doing well, recovering well from the Mother's Day activities. We just want to wish a happy Mother's Day belated to all the mothers out there, all of you who have taken up the roles of a mother, whether you're a mom, tea, or granny. Thank you so much for the work you do in continuing to raise our nation's children. My name is Jessie Leonce, and this morning we're going to take you through the latest developments coming out of the government of St. Lucia. If you're joining us on air, online, a special good morning to you. Residents here on Island, good morning. St. Lucians in the diaspora, thank you so much for tuning in to keep abreast as to what's happening here on Island. The latest news we have from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, because we are coming to you from the Information Command Center. As St. Lucia continues to respond to COVID-19, we have 17 new cases to report. However, no sooner had the Parliament convened for the motion to extend the state of emergency to deal with the very fluid nature of this epidemic, we had a fluctuation in the cases. So on Friday, there was an increase in the regular number of cases that we've tended to see, and that was 47 new cases on Friday. And the latest word from the Ministry of Health as at Saturday is 17 new cases. So we're going to hear from the CMO in just a minute with respect to this fluctuation. We also have word from the Minister of Health and Wellness, Senator Honorable Mary Isaac. She's stating that the state of emergency is necessary to protect the citizenry. And we also have a word from Senator the Honorable Herman Francis speaking on the alternative options being considered as the Peace Officer program comes to an end. We also have the Rotary Club of St. Lucia collaborating with the Seeds International program to assist those in need. So we'll have the details to these stories and some more bulletin information for you on the other end of this break. Do stay with us.
Sons and only daughters, the island now St. Lucia, the place them full of culture, beautiful people, good character, big mountains, good for adventure, driving volcano, you feel you can enter, natural resources, place to remember, right banana cause of a jelly water, no way in this world that I go, nobody can tell me what I know, could I England go near Tokyo, no place like Lucia, no, St. Lucia, my little Chacalisco, number one on me list now, even when your own people them hit you, I will never forsake you. Sons and only daughters, the island now St. Lucia, the place that's full of culture.
She's been watching, waiting, wondering when the sands of time will give way to a tide of change, and for yesterday and today to become a new tomorrow, for a time when her sun can kiss the cheeks of your loved one and her stars can twinkle in her honeymoon skies, when her earthly embrace will reassure and calm your soul, and her unique view can change your whole perspective. Proudly, she has risen to meet new challenges and to provide safe harbor to all who reach her shores. For her hopes and dreams still stand, shoulder to shoulder, a precious reminder of experiences yet to come. So wherever your moments and memories take you, let her sense of adventure set you free. She is St. Lucia. Let her inspire you.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Morning Update live on NTN. We're coming to you from the Information Command Center at our GIS studios with the latest developments from the government of St. Lucia. From the Department of Health and Wellness, there are 17 new cases of COVID-19 to report as at May 8th, 2021, and these results were out of a batch of 349 samples. So out of 349 samples, 17 came back positive. All of these individuals were seen at the various community respiratory clinics where they were asked to remain in isolation pending the outcome of their tests. And now that we know the 17 are confirmed, they have been placed into isolation, and the contact tracing for these new cases is currently underway. Confirmation was also received of the recovery of 6 individuals diagnosed with COVID-19, and this brings the total number of active cases here on Ireland to 147. Presently, all of the active cases are doing well, and the new cases bring the total number of cases that have been diagnosed in country to date since March of last year to 4,671. Now, you're hearing active cases 147, quite a spike. And that is because we experienced a fluctuation on Friday. We got word from the Ministry of Health and Wellness that on Friday, 47 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed. And these results were from a batch of 249 samples processed on May 6th. This is the highest daily increase in the COVID-19 cases noted for the last 12 weeks. That we did experience a spell of, cases not exceeding per day 20 per day. The majority of the cases, 63%, are from the southwestern belt of the island. But before I go any further, I will just hand over to the clip from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George. I would imagine coming from her desk, a spike, a fluctuation of this rate would require word from her. So take a look at the CMO, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, speaking on the confirmation of the 47 new cases, the highest daily increase in COVID-19 noted in the last 12 weeks.
This is the highest daily increase in COVID-19 cases noted for the last 12 weeks. The majority of the cases, that's about 63%, are from the southwestern belt of the island. The 47 individuals were seen at various respiratory clinics in communities where they were assessed and tested for COVID-19. In keeping with the national COVID-19 testing protocol, they were each placed in home quarantine by healthcare practitioners awaiting receipt of their test results. Arrangements have been made to place these new cases into isolation. The contact tracing for these individuals is underway. The Ministry of Health reminds the public that we are still in a vulnerable position based on the high risk of the introduction of COVID-19 and the variants of concern from the developed countries and neighboring Martinique, and transmission in country due to poor compliance to protocols. We continue to advise the public to remain vigilant, adhere to the protocols that are put in place to keep us safe. These include regular hand washing, the use of face masks in public places, covering the nose, mouth and chin, avoiding crowded areas and persons with respiratory symptoms, and also keeping frequently touched surfaces clean. We are privileged to have access to vaccines in the COVID-19 fight. Vaccination remains one of the most effective public health measures in managing infectious diseases. The AstraZeneca vaccine has been proven to be safe and effective in protecting people from developing COVID-19, its severe forms, complications, hospitalizations, and death. We continue to urge the public to access the various vaccination sites to get immunized at the soonest.
So that was Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George there speaking on the case where we had on Friday a spike in cases of COVID-19, 47 new cases reported for that day. And in her closing there speaking, reinforcing the importance of getting immunized. And just to let you know, the immunization, the vaccination, the COVID-19 vaccine, Oxford AstraZeneca, is free of charge. And this week, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is continuing the COVID-19 vaccination campaign here on Ireland, and remind you that it is open to everyone 18 years and older. It's catering to the general population at this time. We understand that earlier on in the campaign, it began in phases, targeting specific sectors, specific sections of the population. And now, if you're over the age of 18 or older, you are encouraged to get vaccinated. Individuals who received their first dose of the vaccine during the week 15th March 2021 to 18th March, you are encouraged to visit the vaccination site nearest to you during this week to receive your second dose. If you are receiving your second dose, of the vaccine, you should walk with your vaccination card, which was given to you when you received your first dose, when you received the first administration of the vaccine. People are asked to walk with a form of identification to facilitate the registration process. If you are, of course, getting your first dose, it is also recommended that you come with a light snack and some water. You know how these things go. You may have to wait a while given the possibility of the waiting time for getting vaccinated. The vaccination sites will be operational from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just to let you know some of the locations today, Monday the 10th, vaccinations are happening at the Soufriere Hospital grounds. It's also happening at the VG Sports Complex, and it's also happening at the Dennery Mothers Preschool. So at the VG Sports Complex, I could have already seen this morning, well ahead of the 9 o'clock start, there were the health teams there gathering to prepare for the day's activity. If you have some time tomorrow, that is May 11th, Tuesday, you can get vaccinated at the Philip Marsley grounds in Vieux-Fort, also the Darren Sammy Cricket grounds and the Jack Mill Wellness Center. So please take note of these locations, and as the days go by, we will remind you of the various locations. Of course, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday have already been mapped out by the Ministry of Health. You could go on to their Facebook page to see the other venues on these dates. We continue with our morning update today with a look back at the Senate proceedings last week, and it was following the sitting of the House of Assembly. Both houses approved the extension of the state of emergency to the 16th of October, and the Minister for Health and Wellness, who is also the lead of government business in the upper house, Senator the Honorable Mary Isaac, during the sitting of the Senate on Thursday, highlighted the need for the extension of the state of emergency. She explained that with the average of 100 new cases being recorded per week, the country cannot afford to relax current COVID-19 protocols. And one such protocol is the implementation of a curfew, which you already know can only be instituted under a state of emergency. She has indicated that it assisted in curbing the spread of the coronavirus here on Ireland. We go to our first clip from the Senator.
Madam President, there is absolutely no question as to whether or not we need that declaration of a state of emergency. We needed it when we set it then, we needed it when we extended on it the first time, the second time, and we need it now. Maybe now more than ever, Madam President, as we are seeing that the numbers are declining or at least remaining stable. We are still getting about, on average, about 100 cases per week, and that is still not satisfactory. While it is better than where we were before, it is still not satisfactory. Not satisfactory enough for us to loosen up on the protocols that we have that currently exist, which includes a curfew.
Highlighting the worsening COVID-19 situation in other countries, the minister explained that St. Lucia cannot become complacent just because active COVID-19 cases here on Ireland appear to be stabilizing. And case in point, we saw on Friday there was a spike in cases, the daily rate of cases to 47. So take a look.
If you are on antibiotics, Madam President, for 10 days, and you start taking it and getting better, after the third day you are much better, Madam President, do you stop? You have to continue, because the end result is to get rid of whatever it is that is in your system, and you require the 10 days of taking the antibiotics to do so. COVID-19 is still with us, Madam President. It is because of the measures that we have put in place that we are seeing some sort of, I don't even want to call it relief, Madam President, because it's just that the numbers seem to be remaining stable, declining a little and remaining stable. So this is just a semblance of a relief that we are seeing. We cannot drop our guard or let it down, because we can go back to a worse situation than where we were before. We know of Trinidad and Tobago right now. Our brothers and sisters there are really suffering. They're under tremendous pressure. We have Martinique, closer to home. We hear of India and we see what is happening. With such a large population, we cannot afford that in St. Lucia, Madam President. we would all be wiped out in a matter of 1 week.
Senator the Honorable Isaac indicated that the Ministry of Health and Wellness continues its fight against COVID-19, ramping up the vaccination campaign. A number of vaccination sites were established this week to facilitate vaccination efforts. Senator the Honorable Isaac disclosed that St. Lucia is soon to receive some more vaccines to the tune of 150,000 doses.
Madam President, we speak of herd immunity. And of course, that depends on our vaccine efforts in country. I said earlier on that we are expecting to get 100,000 vaccines within, and 100,000 vaccines that's purchased by the government of St. Lucia, and another 50,000 vaccines that's going to be given to us from the COVAX mechanism. And we are expecting both of these shipments within this week and of course towards the end of this month. So our vaccine effort is extremely important, Madam President, for us to obtain that herd immunity that we are talking about. And we are looking at being able to vaccinate at least about 108,000 people so that we can accomplish that task.
So that was Senator the Honorable Mary Isaac there speaking as a leader of government business in the Upper House last week when the Parliament of St. Lucia approved the extension of the state of emergency for an additional period of 5 months commencing from the 17th of May 2021 and ending on 16th October 2021. During that sitting, we also saw the return of Senator the Honorable Herman Gill Francis, who did have a bout of COVID-19. Of course, he did indicate that it was asymptomatic, but we are grateful that he is now safe and sound and has recovered fully. He did give us an update on the Peace Officers Program. As you know, it was discontinued as of 30th April, and we're talking about the COVID-19 wardens. He did confirm, however, that the authorities are exploring alternative options to try to accommodate the 173 wardens. For instance, we have the Commissioner of Police from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force considering appointing select wardens as reserves after special police constables in the service are upgraded to constables. In the Senate sitting, as I indicated, the Minister for National Security and Home Affairs, Honorable Herman Gill Francis, did acknowledge the success of the program since their operations began in December in the whole effort toward responding to COVID-19 and reducing the infection rates here on island. He did indicate that he hopes the wardens can be incorporated into the Royal St. Lucia Police Force and other relevant state services based on their performance in the COVID-19 response. And as I indicated, Senator the Honorable Francis did indicate that he had a case of COVID-19 and he encourages the public to get vaccinated. So that update there coming from the senator returning from an experience with COVID-19 and asking persons to get vaccinated as soon as possible. We are due for a break. When we come back, we have some more updates from the government of St. Lucia.
Oi, you realize you step on my toe?
Well, do something about it.
Gasai, bust in that man.
Hold on. If somebody try to cross you, and the mad things start to take you, no need for war or violence, cause the police there to help you. If a trouble start in this session, alright, no need for aggression. We don't want no violence in the place. Control your temper, respect each other. Don't let no trouble escalate, cause you know better. Control your temper, respect each other. Don't let no trouble escalate, cause you know better. Control your temper. A message from Mission Boys, Studio 758, Acid Creations, and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force.
Yeah. What does coronavirus have in common with love? Both are highly contagious. Spread love, not the virus. Like you, COVID-19 loves a lime. Beach, river, or fed. Coronavirus is like these people who track every lime just to invade. The best way to put off invaders? Cancel the lime. Spread love, not the virus. Keep you and your crew corona-free. Live to lime another day.
Together let us win this war. St. Lucia be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the Morning Update live on NTN. We're coming to you from the Information Command Center. We continue to keep watch over COVID-19, St. Lucia's response in that regard, as well as other developments out of the government of St. Lucia. A partner in this effort, we have the Rotary Club of St. Lucia responding to partnering, collaborating with the Seeds International Program to assist those in need. We have Herma DeMarc from the GIS with this charitable story.
The Rotary Club of St. Lucia has collaborated with the Seeds International Program. The program aims to alleviate hunger by providing vegetable seeds to persons most in need around the world and especially in small island developing states. The Rotary Club made an application to Seeds International and was successful in receiving 1,500 packets of vegetable seeds. The president of the St. Lucia Rotary Club, Lathan Khan, says the strategy of the St. Lucia Rotary Club this year is to collaborate with organizations locally and internationally to continue their charitable work in St. Lucia.
At a time like this, when the world is facing a number of different crises, we have a health crisis, we have climate change, we have the possibility of military and economic conflicts and political conflicts that could seriously disrupt the food chain supply. And this is why Seeds Program International is pushing this program to help individuals in smaller territories as St. Lucia to find a way to produce your own food. So it's like a first step towards self-sufficiency at the individual domestic level. And so Rotary is very happy and delighted to partner with such a prestigious organization who is seeking to do good in the world.
At a small presentation ceremony, the seeds were distributed to organizations with existing farming programs to grow and produce with the intention of distributing the grown produce to persons in need. The Upton Girls Garden Center was a recipient. Deputy Director Olympia Vitalis accepted the seed donation on behalf of the center.
At Upton Gardens, we do have an agricultural program that have been operating for the past 41 years. And so this contribution is going to go very well with what we do. We provide food for our girls. We cater to girls between the ages of 12 to 18, and we encourage them to be able to develop that level of subsistency living that we speak of. So this initiative is really going to go a long way in helping them provide for themselves at the center as well as their families. So again, I want to thank you for having us receive this gift. As they say, caring is sharing. So we appreciate your care.
Wang Son, director of the Boys Training Center, BTC, receiving the donation on behalf of the center, says the BTC currently has a hydroponics and aquaponics agricultural program.
During the last year, when COVID really came onto the island and the lockdown, we saw that a number of our boys, apart from these programs, they too started their own farms. So a number of them today is harvesting day for some of them. Some of them have Chinese cabbage and whatnot. So this will go a long way. And I must say that we have all come to realize how important food is to us as a nation. And it is good that we can help the young people to continue to leave that legacy moving forward. So once again, I thank you, and your seeds will go a long way towards our programs at the Boys Training Center.
The other recipients include the South Louis Community College, National Skills Development Center, Castries Comprehensive Secondary School, St. Mary's College, and the Rotary Club of Grosley. The organizations are expected to prepare a summary report on the successes and challenges during the planting process, as well as include photos of crops to be sent to the Seeds International Program for accountability purposes. From the Government Information Service, I'm Herma DeMarc reporting.
Thank you very much, Herma, for that report. And finally, for the morning, the Rodney Bay Highway Expansion Project is underway and includes the addition of 2 more motoring lanes from Redwy to Bonterre, as well as the upgrade of water main lines. The project seeks to address a number of issues, including addressing the traffic congestion by constructing 2 additional motoring lanes from Redwy to Bonterre, with 2 roundabouts being constructed, improving motorist and pedestrian safety by constructing sidewalks and a walkover, reducing flooding during heavy rains by improving the drainage system in the area, improving the consistency and reliability of the water supply in the north by replacing the Wasco main pipes, which are over 30 years old. And the project currently employs approximately 100 persons. The Ministry of Infrastructure continues to implore you for your continued patience during the construction work that is happening in the north of the island, as well as other locations island-wide where construction works are ongoing. We've come to the end, but before I leave, I just want to remind you of the vaccination campaign update. The ministry is pleased, very satisfied to announce that as of May 7th, they have a total of 25,200 individuals receiving their first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine and 13,148 individuals receiving the second dose of the vaccine. And of course, this coming week, that is the 10th, today Monday the 10th, all the way until the 15th on Saturday, yes, the health team will be administering the COVID-19 vaccine at various locations. So today, vaccinations are happening at the Soufriere Hospital grounds, the Dennery Mothers Preschool, and the VG Sports Complex. Tomorrow, you have some time. You figure you could go get vaccinated, get your second dose or the first dose. You can do so at the Philip Marslick grounds, Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds, and the Jackmel Wellness Center. Be reminded, we will remind you where you can get vaccinated during the course of this week. They've mapped out the entire schedule for this week up until Saturday, so we will let you know where you can get vaccinated. If you want to plan, you could also go on to the Facebook page of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and there you could see what their dates are and venues are, and also get other updates from the Ministry of Health and Wellness directly. I'd like to thank you so much for watching this morning. We hope you have this is a start to a very productive, enjoyable week, positive week for you. We hope you keep safe and that you continue to adhere to the protocols, because that's what's keeping St. Lucia stable at this time. Yes, we are bracing for any eventuality. As you saw on Friday, we did have a fluctuation of 47 cases in the given day, but we continue to push on. We encourage you to adhere to the protocols, encourage others to do the same, and we will come out on the other end of this better than we went in. Yeah? So Jessie Leonce here signing off. Do keep safe and continue to stay tuned to NTN. We continue to bring you the latest developments from the government of St. Lucia. Goodbye. Enjoy.